You'll have to hit OK for the recording.
Leave meeting then is an option. All right.
It's not an option.
Have a
What's
good
your
day.
answer?
Good to see you guys.
Okay, Brian has consented to be recorded, so we can do this thing. Hello, Latchkey friends. That's where you guys say hi.
Hi.
Hello. You guys are the friends.
Oh, it's us? I thought you were talking about our friends that we can't see.
I was also unsure. Yeah.
Okay, well, to be clear, the friends I'm speaking to are Elizabeth, our co-host. It's great to see you again. And my friend, our friend, Brian Hardy. How are you, Brian?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me. Thanks for having me as a latchkey friend.
I don't think you know what you're in for.
I don't.
Are you scared? Are you
Just
a little nervous?
a little bit.
A little bit nervous. I get that.
So Brian has given the show a bit of feedback. On a recent episode, we had our friend Randy, the PA, come on the show, and he talked about some of his medical oddities. There's some things that have happened to him. And I think that Brian's exact review was, I don't care for scrotums, full or otherwise.
That sounds like
apt description.
Yeah.
Now, I don't think that was the only piece of feedback you gave us on that episode, Brian.
I didn't feel like I was old enough to be hearing some of those things. And I am pretty old.
You felt there should have been an age warning on the episode.
Yeah, some sort of content warning. Just, I was sitting down, but it was a good thing that I was.
So we brought Brian on the show today to class up the joint, really. I think that what he's told us is that this thing's, he needs to be a little bit more highbrow, and his type of humor is much classier. So Liz, do you think that we can handle that today?
I mean, I can't promise anything. Classy humor is not my specialty.
Okay, so we're going to be leaning on Brian heavily for this.
Heavily. He's going to have to take all of this.
Yeah. So we wanted to
do my best.
Okay, do your best for us, Brian. One of the things that we wanted to do is we wanted to make a clarification in today's episode. So a few episodes back, we made reference to a term that Liz and I have both come to know and love, and that is what, Elizabeth?
Sugar bear. Sugar bearing it.
Sugar bear. Sugar bear. So
he was sugar bearing it at work today.
Okay.
Wow.
He was sugar bearing it at work today. So that is you're the grammarian. That's a noun or an adjective?
It's a noun, adjective, whatever you want to use. You could make it a verb too.
Yeah, you could. It
Very
can be
versatile.
Yeah.
So the reason that I know and love the term sugar bear is because it was brought to my attention by my friend Brian Hardy. So today's like a history lesson. What's that word?
Understand the study of
etymology,
sugar bearing it, where it originated.
Yeah, what's that word that means the history of a word?
Etymology.
Oh.
Yeah, I think it's etymology. I could be wrong. I know it's somewhere up here. I'm going to find it later.
Yeah, so
that's a big word for someone who doesn't like highbrow comedy. That's pretty good.
Ouch. So
it's true.
Mr. High Class Brian Hardy, take us away. Tell us about the term sugar bear.
Okay, well, for your listeners who are old enough to know that.
Oh, do we need to put an age description on here?
I don't know. I just don't.
If you have above the age of, 21, legal drinking age.
I think here's the problem. The problem is I regret starting the sentence that way, but it's because I'm old.
Oh.
And because I'm old and aware of oldness, I assume that most people I talk to don't know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
So when I make reference to a cartoon character on a cereal box, two things. I don't know if the kids today even know what cereal boxes are, and I don't know if they even put cartoon characters on cereal boxes anymore. And I frankly don't care. But when I was
Get off my lawn.
Yes. When I was a kid, there was sugar called Super Sugar Crisp, which now is called something else, but there was a cartoon bear on the cover or on the front of the box, and he was wearing a turtleneck and no pants. And I always thought that was strange as a kid, but I didn't really have a term for it until fast forward to being in my 20s, playing music with some friends, and they had a term called sugar bear. And I said, wait a minute. And they said, yeah, it's the cartoon bear from the cereal box who walks around in a turtleneck and no pants. And they used it as a verb. They used it as a noun. In fact, our bass player in that band, one of his nicknames was Sugar Bear.
So
And,
I want to pause
go
you
ahead.
there for a second.
Yes.
So that makes sense, and it's a broader phenomenon than just Honeycrisp Dodger Bear. What was that name again?
Yes, you got it.
Dodger Bear.
Honeycrisp Dodger Bear.
That's
It was
exactly what it was called.
greater Los Angeles area only. But no, he was
Was it Honeycrisp? Honey Sugar Crisp?
super sugar crisp is what they called it back then. And now I think it's super golden crisp or something like that.
Is it the bear with the blue shirt on?
Yeah.
Is that the one I'm thinking of? Okay, I remember him. Yeah.
He probably has a name, but maybe he is called Sugar Bear. I don't know that.
I hope it is.
I should have done some history research before.
Should have.
But let's go ahead and say that his name is Sugar Bear. Indeed.
Yeah.
So that's what we call
this
him.
is not just confined to just this cereal. If we look at
No.
other cartoon animals,
Yeah.
our friend Winnie the Pooh, what's his outfit?
It's a red T-shirt.
Red T-shirt,
No-
no pants.
no pants.
No pants.
Okay, Donald Duck.
Donald Duck dresses it up even more. He's got the sailor shirt often with no pants.
No pants.
Yeah.
So it seems
But here's the deal with that. Mickey wears pants but no shirt.
they
Yeah.
call it the reverse sugar. Bear.
Inverted Sugar Bear.
And
Like
who's the
Spencer
one that
Hope.
always wants to get the bear that wants to get the baskets?
Yogi Bear.
Oh, that's
Yogi.
Yogi Bear.
He
He's
has a
wearing
tie.
a tie. He has a collar and a tie and no shirt
And no pants.
and no pants.
There's a theme.
So,
There's
yeah.
no
It's a
pants.
phenomenon in the cartoon animal community. So it's a bigger thing. This isn't just a one-off.
And once you how do you say that word, Liz? Anthropomorphize an animal.
Yes,
there
that's
should
the
be
word.
there should be some sort of standard where we go ahead and assume that bottom half should be covered. I would think.
They're just flouting the norms. Like you can just wear no pants and have to wear a shirt.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the equivalent of wearing a mask to the store but not covering your nose. That's just sticking it to everybody.
Yeah.
It just got political. So your bass player, he had a nickname that was the Sugar Bear. Did you call him Sugar Bear or the Sugar Bear?
No, just Sugar Bear.
Sugar Bear.
I'm quite
Hey,
sure
Sugar
this.
Bear.
Yeah, I'm quite sure this bear's name is actually Sugar Bear, and that's what we called.
Okay.
That's what we called this friend.
Okay, so
And
take us further. Take us to the next step.
Well, so I met these the other three friends that I played music with had been in a band together previously, and so I was the new kid, even though I was older than them. And so one day I had to get caught up on all of the lore of that group of friends. And when the day that I finally asked why they called him Sugar Bear, and they told me the story of him. He went hiking one day, backpacking with a different set of friends that he didn't know very well. So in that case, he was the new guy. And he was a bit of a heavy set guy, and he got behind the rest of them. And as he came around a bend in the hiking trail one day, at some point on that hike, the other friends were just standing there in just their backpacks and their hiking boots. They had taken all their clothes off. So
let's stop there. Let's stop there for a second.
as I'm sure he did. I'm sure he stopped there for a second.
Stopped right there for a second.
Okay, so in
Yes,
recap,
they went around the corner, had clothes on. He came around and their clothes were off.
Gone, yes.
okay, but go back a step further. He was heavy set, and I think you told us earlier why he was heavy set or something like that.
Oh, well, he did. I do remember him one day looking in the mirror and saying, "Oh, I think this T-shirt makes me look heavy." To which we replied, well, "I think that's your weight." So yes, But that seems like a cheap shot now that I'm older. I don't know.
You're a kid back then.
You're a sassy guy now.
Our
That's right.
younger audience will get that, but
Right.
So again,
Right,
he was
right.
backpacking. He was backpacking fully clothed went around the corner, and as Liz mentioned,
No
then
clothes.
they were wearing no clothes.
Did he
That's
know
where we
that his
left off.
friends were nudists?
He had no notion that this was going to happen. He had
Find
no.
these friends
yeah.
on Craigslist.
I don't know that. I probably should know that, but maybe it was on Craigslist. Yeah,
Okay, so
anyway. So he now. So yes,
take us back. Take us back.
he comes around the bend, not expecting to see that certainly, and there are his friends with no clothes on, and they said it's not a big deal. We didn't want to scare you off, but this is something we do on this trip. We just hike the rest of the way in with no clothes on. So at which point he had a choice to make, I guess, and instead of turning around,
Okay, so hold on, Liz. What do you think the choices are here? What are the choices here?
Okay, let me think about this. You're backpacking with strangers that you're trying to be friends with that you met on Craigslist.
right,
You're hiking, everyone's fully clothed. It's a normal backpacking trip. You walk around a bend, somehow clothes are gone, but boots are still on because, footwear is important,
right.
So what do? Options. Join in the fun. Take all your clothes off.
Yeah.
Sure.
Be one with nature and
That's
your
an option.
friends.
Yep.
Right.
2, turn around and go back
Yeah, those
with
seem
your
like
clothes on.
those seem like the two choices.
Yeah.
Those are the two that I see most clearly here. Now let's kick it back over to Brian.
He went with option C, which was
His choices were 1, 2, and C, and he went with C.
He went with option 3/C, which doesn't seem like an option, but remembering he was a little heavy set, I think he's in the end he's a good sport and a nice person, and probably felt a little bit stuck. So he decided to join in the fun, but being a little bit bashful about his body, as many of us are, he took off his pants and left his shirt on for the remainder of the hike. So he went pantsless.
He thought if I have to take off half of my clothes, my pants are the half I'm taking off.
Which, again, I don't know this guy well enough to know why that decision made more sense, but maybe he felt better about the bottom than the top.
So this brings
So
us
many
back.
things I want to say, but now I'm concerned about the age group of our listeners.
Correct. Agreed.
It comes back to a different conversation, which is I live here in a national park. I love picnic baskets. What am I going to wear to work? Collar, a tie. That's how I feel most comfortable.
Right.
And so hence he was now the sugar bear.
Yes. So he told us that story. When he told these guys this story, then that's when they gave him the nickname Sugar Bear. And then now we're all caught up. Now I understood why I was also calling him Sugar Bear.
And now you understand why you're on the show today.
I first have a question for our never nude friends in this group.
Okay.
That would be Spencer.
Yes.
Okay.
Spencer, what would your decision be if you rounded the corner and this group of friends you're trying to fit in with was more than Sugar Bear in it? They were going completely commando.
I think the first thing that would happen is that this fair skin complexion would become tomato red. And I would feel quite uncomfortable. And I can tell you that the sugar bear would be the furthest thing from my mind. At this point, I'm worried about nature. I'm glad everybody's shoes and feet are still protected. But it seems like it's a scary world out there. No concerns?
I would sit down to take a rest anywhere. That feels a little uncomfortable and unhygienic.
I have questions about sunscreen.
I didn't even think about sunscreen.
Presumably.
You sunscreen when you're Sugar Bear in it.
Where are you even going to carry
And
it?
who helps you with the sunscreen on the areas you can't
Yeah.
reach?
Yeah, these are good
That's
questions.
a whole new level of friendship.
Yeah, I don't think I could ask a person to apply sunscreen in some of those areas having not already known that they backpack naked. Like, I think I would have to know the first part before I could get close enough to ask them the second part.
The
I
second.
think it's largely tan line based. Like,
I think that's why they did it. They just
Yeah.
don't like tan lines.
I think so. I think so.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But okay, so Brian, has this sugar bear experience, I mean, is there any comparables in your life? I mean, it doesn't have to be apples to apples. It doesn't have to be you sugar bearing it. I mean, I can ask you that. You're welcome to answer that question. But I just wonder if you have any experiences at least akin to this experience.
I have never sugar bared. I have streaked,
Well,
but at that point, again, yeah, once the
That's
bottoms
cool.
are off, once the
That's
bottoms
not
are off, the
fair.
top seems inconsequential in my mind.
Yeah, once the bottoms comes off, who cares about the top?
Yes, there are other. At that point, people have different questions than, oh, he's a little out of shape in the midsection there. Yeah, so I have been streaking more than once, but never sugar bared. Although my poor / sweet wife Rachel, when we went on our honeymoon, I did. I think in today's modern society, there's still a lot of undue pressure on women to be all things to everyone all the time. And not only do you have to be a mom and a wife and help bring home the bacon and then cook all the bacon, because us husbands are still figuring out how to do more than one thing at a time. There's a lot of pressure on today's modern women to be sexy as well.
Yeah.
And
Are you saying the sugar bear is sexy and we should be focusing on that?
I'm not saying that, but I didn't want her leading in going into the honeymoon. I didn't want to feel like the pressure was all on her. And so I wanted to take a sexy outfit or two, maybe, to do my part.
Enlightened of you. You were going to dress up for her too.
Yes,
You were
that's
going to
right.
bring your own lingerie.
That's right. So I did. And I brought, a pair or two of fancy stripy boxer briefs or something. But then I also found something in the back of my drawer that I thought would really
Oh man.
help her understand what a good decision she made to marry me. And so I brought.
I mean, that's a lot of pressure. I mean, this is your honeymoon. This is
That's
make
right.
or break.
That's
you
right.
brought out the big guns.
I did. So I played my sophomore year of high school. I played on Granger High School's football team. And so I had a cut-off T-shirt that went under my shoulder pads.
Nice.
That had said Granger football on it and it had a football printed on there. And then the nice matching John Stockton style polyester shorts that were barely long enough to cover my underwear when I was a kid, let alone when I was in my 20s or 30s, whatever the case may have been. I don't remember how old I was when I got married. Anyway, I thought that my wife would love to see me in this outfit. It was a hefty medium when I got it, and I'm a hefty extra large now. So when I put that on and came out of the changing area at our little hotel, I'm sure she was thrilled to see me in my.
Oh man, she kept you. She obviously was thrilled.
With my midriff showing. Well, we were in Hawaii and we had a few days. Like she was kind of stuck there. So I think the shock wore off and she just said, don't.
You just maybe like put that in that box where you don't want to ever remember things again.
Right.
Yeah. So it's just locked in there and she's forgotten about it.
So I better make sure I destroyed those two items of clothing.
I hope you have it.
What I never came up with was a term for the midriff showing, but the pants and the top covered. We got to come up with that sometime.
We're going to come up with something. Maybe our viewers can help us.
I think so. Yeah.
We get a new name. We got the sugar bear. We know what that is. I like to call where you have, if we're going bear themed, where you have pants but no shirt, is the Smokey Bear, because he wears pants.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're Smokey Bear in it if you have no shirt, the pants on. So
And
now
then
we need to find something where it's just your midriff. You got a cute little crop top and some John Stockton shorty shorts on.
Is it the Muffin Bear?
Muffin bear, like a muffin top.
Yeah. In my case, it was more like the Pillsbury Dough Bear. Yeah. I don't know. I like this idea, but we got to do something for sure.
We'll figure it out.
So Brian, as you have gone through these experiences in your life, both secondhand and firsthand, what do you feel that you've learned about the sugar bear over time?
The biggest thing I've learned is not to tell people stories. Because inevitably you incriminate yourself in front of a large group of people. I assume at this point you have thousands and thousands of listeners.
Millions of followers.
Oh, millions. That's big. That's
The
big.
world's gonna know all about your tiny football tee.
Yeah, we would like to include photos of the tiny football tee in the show notes. So if you could get on that.
I will see if I can find those items of clothing. I think maybe what I should learn from this is to be a little more, freer with. Maybe I should try sugar bearing. I never have. Maybe it would be fun.
Now is the perfect time to try the sugar bear because we're working from home and all you see is syrup. Who needs pants?
Well, I have a little surprise for both of you.
No.
I have the house mostly to myself during these times, and I still wear clothes all the time.
Oh.
So
that's a shame. That's a shame.
Pretty boring.
You're a very beautiful man.
Well, that's a thing that you say.
That's a thing.
Well, for those who have sugar bared it, yes or no or otherwise, we want them to share their experiences with us, and they can do that how, Miss Cornwall?
They can do that through social media. They could hit us up on Instagram or Facebook or Twitters. Where else are we?
We're everywhere. The Twitters is
everywhere. The
everywhere.
Twitter universe at Latchkey Friends, or you can go to our website at latchkeyfriends.com.
Brian is actually a subscriber to our newsletter. It was so racy that he had to change it from his work email to his personal account.
Yes, that's true.
I like to say that's success. That's a level of success I wanted to get to.
I'm not sure you want to answer this question on while we're recording, but I don't remember signing up for your newsletter. And so it wasn't racy as much as I was like, this seems like an involuntary thing.
Someone signed you up without your knowing. I don't know who that could be. It's a mystery.
And then I tried to unsubscribe. I tried to switch it, but I couldn't figure out how to do that. It took me a while. Again, I'm old, so but I can now safely tell you that I have unsubscribed from one email and have subscribed onto a new email. So if there are any other older, technologically challenged listeners,
did they hit you up to help them unsubscribe from our newsletter?
That is possible. No, I can't help them unsubscribe. I can only
Brian's email address is
Sugar Bear
Bear in it.
at
Brian,
AOL.
this has been fantastic, Brian. I'm glad you joined us because people have just been, our telephone, our landline has been ringing off.
Landlines have been ringing off the hook.
With questions about the sugar bear. And in my mind, and I think in Liz's as well, you are our sugar bear.
Oh, well, that's nice.
You're our favorite sugar bear.
So we're going to have more from Brian, but the only way you're going to be able to get it is to subscribe to our newsletter.
So don't unsubscribe.
Latchkeyfriends.com/newsletter. And Brian, thanks for being our Latchkey friend, and whatever type of clothing you're going to wear, we hope you wear it or not the next time we see you.
Sounds great. Thank you so much for having me. This was great.
Thanks, Liz. Thanks, Brian. Thanks to our listeners. We'll talk to you guys soon.
Bye.